On coffee talk. I'm just sitting here, still having my coffee this morning, and Sassy finally got up, and I let her out right off the bat, and the sun's shining out nice, and in fact, I don't even know what time it is, but I got up at 6:30 this morning, and it started getting fairly daylight out. Anyway, Sassy. I've gotten her into the habit now, and it didn't take very long. Uh, that when she goes outside, it's not what you call freezing out and no snow, but when she comes in, she's just shivering all over. So I've got her used to coming up here and jumping up here next to me. Now she's shaking right now, and it really isn't all that cold, but she got used to it, and she wormed her way up here, so here she is. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And she she tickles me to no end, I'm telling you. So she's got used to this, and I let her come up. Now, I'm not what you call a lovey-dovey on a dog or cat or anything like that. No, I love them, and I'll pet them, and I'll do whatever's needed for them, uh, but she's kind of wormed her way into my heart. She's, what, 19 years old? Probably, well, going on 20 years old now. There she is. She's going to give me a hard time. Anyway, I've been sitting here talking. Well, anyway, everybody gather around, get your coffee, get your tea, whatever it is that you drink, and everybody gather around. Now, I'm not at the table. I don't have what you call a table. I have one of them, like them little flimsy things that, and I got the chair that, stop it. No, don't start rubbing on me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Behave. Behave. Or you'll have to get down. And, so, but I've got it sitting back here, and I've got a chair just the right size for it. So, but anyway, we're not going to sit at that today, and we're still sitting here where I sit when I wake up in the mornings. But I want to tell you something that kind of, I thought about it this morning, and it stirred my longing a little bit, and I've been telling y'all how I've been downsizing and decluttering and trying to start my life over again, and that's all well and good, and I'm doing it. I mean, I'm basically doing what I have done for years. Basically, is creating a comfortable home out of nothing. Out of having nothing. Okay, hold on a minute. You're going to have to get down here, because you keep bumping my arm. Now lay down there. Lay. And I've always been poor, but I always had. I've always had enough to survive. And I've been homeless, but I survived. Always making the best out of a bad situation. Well, here I am, still doing it, but doing it in a camper. And knowing full well that I want more and I want better. But I was sitting here thinking this morning, because I've been talking about, instead of doing all the time, maybe just be, just sit and be and do nothing. Just sit and enjoy my surroundings. And I tell that to myself all the time. But there's some things that I'm missing that I had in my life at a certain period of time in my life and a certain environment that I had that I really enjoyed. And never knowing that there was things that I enjoyed because I didn't know because I never had it. Well, when I lived in Florida, well, I lived in Florida uh, several times with my first husband and our children. But I never got to experience what I experienced when I was on my own. Well, in 2016, my brother and my sister got up and moved to Florida. We didn't have no place in particular that we were going. We just knew that we were going to go down south, and that we had lived in St. Petersburg, Florida before, each separately. And we were just headed in that direction. My eyes itching. And so off we went. I mean, we just did a heartbeat because my brother had come into his Social Security, and uh, you're only allowed to keep that so long because it was disability, right? Money from the time that that it took for him to be qualified as disabled. So we took off all of our belongings, and off we went. Got a U-Haul, which and off we went. And we got down there, and we found a place, and we didn't particularly like where we was at. We were in Tallahassee, the capital, and there was the college down there. Well, we happened to get into a college area. Well, I didn't like that, so we got out of that lease and headed on. But my sister got up and left and come back home. Uh, uh, she particularly didn't like it down there for whatever reason. I don't know. Uh, she never really explained it to us, but she wanted to go back home. She had to start all over again. Well, me and my brother took off, and we were headed. Uh, he wanted to take me to Pensacola and kind of find out where I originally came from. We went down there just for the day because we hadn't really found any place else that we particularly wanted to go to yet. And so we got down there, and we seen Panama City Beach. Well, make a long story short, we ended up finding a place down there. It wasn't glamorous or nothing like that. It was a trailer that was just being redone over, cleaned and renovated because of the people that was in it before. But it wasn't really a nice trailer park. It was a raunchy trailer park. But we stayed there for, I don't know, 6 months or so, and we decided to move on. Well, I found a place by the bay. Well, it happened to be that my brother wanted, and this is, I'll tell you the story on that another day, but he ended up getting a house there. I had a duplex. And we moved right on the bay. I mean, we wanted to be there, but there we were. So it was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, right there on the water, and the rent was cheap. I was only paying $4.25 a month, and so, but I was in a duplex. So I started looking and asked if they had something else. Well, a trailer came up. And I hadn't said anything to anybody yet about, well, yeah, I was. I was doing music in the duplex, which was hard on the neighbors. They didn't particularly like it. But I got a trailer that was closer to the bay. In fact, it was right smack dab on the bay. The water was right there. And I had plenty of room for my music equipment and everything, and had 2 baths, and but it wasn't nothing fancy. I mean, nothing fancy. My camper looks better than it did. But I had a front porch that looked out over the bay. I could watch the dolphins coming in and going out. I could watch the sharks out there. Different things like that. Well, I got so I'd be up at 5 o'clock every morning, still dark, and I'd sit on my front porch having my coffee, and watch that sunrise come up, which, the sun don't come up. We're moving down past it, supposedly. So that was the light of my day, was to sit and watch that come up and take pictures of it as it was coming up at different spots. I only have one picture left of that time of doing that. But that was the highlight of my day. And no, and here's the thing. My environment was not people with the most upstanding characters. Now, my manager, they were Christians, but they were into music, good country music, and they could play. The whole family could play and sing. And they didn't really know that I was into music all that much. I mean, they lived right there with us all. And I did some music when I was in the duplex, but they never really heard me. And so they were having a party one time. One of the other tenants was having a birthday party, and they asked them to play for them. Well, I went. They got me up, and I did a couple of songs, and they were just. In fact, a couple of days later, the manager, she came to me and she said, I kind of owe you an apology. And I said, why? She said, I didn't know that you were so professional. She said, I know you said you sang, but so there it started. I mean, I could play my music there as loud as I wanted to play it. All the windows open, all the doors open, and the people, even though they weren't the most upstanding people in the world, they treated me good. I mean, there was even some drug sellers and drug addicts in there that I helped from time to time, but they respected me. They treated me good. I was allowed to play my music and sing as loud as I wanted to. In fact, they would all come outside my trailer and sit there and listen and applaud me while I was singing. I wasn't doing anything big and spectacular there. I was just being. But while I was being, I was still doing what I do here in this camper, moving my furniture around, designing it in a better, different way every week. And it was, I was, I was happy. I didn't have any boyfriends. I didn't have really any friends. I had the manager and them, and I helped some of the people out around and about, took them places and stuff. And but they were kind of friends, if you know what I mean. And if my car broke down or something and along the road, they'd come along and help me. I didn't have to call them up, and once they seen me, man, they were right there. And I was happy. I mean, I had my down days and I had my boo-hoo-hoo days, and I was in my 70s at the time, 72 to 78. I think it was like 78 when I got back here. I'm not quite sure on that, but I was happy down there. My environment wasn't the best in the world. People accepted me for who I am, and I I got to do my music. Come back home here, and, and I'm on my daughter's property, and I have people in my family that like to do music. They do some. I have a grandson. I he lives right down the hill here where I'm at, right here, and he's got all kinds of music equipment in his house, and he's very good on the guitar. He has recording stuff. He had his own band at one time. My son is an extraordinary guitar player, and my daughter that I live here with can play the piano some, which she don't do much anymore. She sings. My other daughter sings. They can sing, let's put it that way. They don't sing anymore. And I have another grandson that lives someplace else that can pick up a keyboard and play, just play anything on it and do whatever, but they don't. But this one down here does to himself. And here I am. I love to do music. I sing. You all know, you've heard me. I could do better if I had the better equipment and had the professional people to help me. But here I am. I don't get to entertain nobody anymore. I don't get to do my music at all anymore. I ended up putting all my music equipment away. And everybody knows that I sing and I love to do my music. And where did they get their talent from? You know what I'm saying? But nobody pays one lick of attention about me loving my music or anything. And and even if I did try it a couple of times, and I was told that, boy, it's pretty loud, nobody, my grandson don't come up here and say, hey, let's get some music going. I've got all the equipment down here. I write songs. I don't know if he writes songs. I don't have here what I had around people that weren't all that upstanding. Now, my family is upstanding. What does that mean? Well, they're good people, very good people, but nobody comes together with each other like that. When it's, I don't know, I just don't know how to explain it. Do you realize that my son's guitar playing, I have a brother too that does play the guitar. You tell me. You tell me. Upstanding versus people that aren't very upstanding at all. Accept me. Allow me to be me. Even help me to be me. I was happy there. That's all I can say. So I'll leave you with that. If you believe you can, if you believe you can't, you're right. So what do I believe? What do I want? Well, I love being around my family. Do I want to go back into an environment like that? Not really. But they accept me. They allow me to be me. They help me to be me. My grandkids don't even come up and say hi or nothing. You know, my daughter did take me to lunch yesterday. That was awesome. We went to the Dutch house up here in our area. And great food, great food. And in fact, I stuffed myself. So I didn't have to eat when I got back home. But, you know, it's like there's more to life than just family. You can make a life outside of family where strangers and your environment around you, whether they be upstanding or not, can accept you or not accept you. Well, apparently, I fit in that very well because I'm accepting of a lot of different kinds of people, for one thing. And they're apparently accepting of many different kinds of people, too. So I feel like I'm very stagnant here. That I could probably give you much more exciting things in my life if I was still in that environment than what I'm giving now. I don't know what else to tell myself. I mean, this is what I'm telling myself now. I just realized that this morning that I was much happier then. So anyway, Joyce, make up your mind about what you want, what you don't want, and take a direction, make a decision, and go for it. You all have a great day. Love you. Hugs and kisses. Talk to you later.